Hey guys, Leland Best over at the Megabit Affiliate. Just wanted to cut a quick video today to go along with a post I did a few days back called "What is the best free keyword search tool?" Okay, so we're ready to go here. I'm out here on my website, and this is the post I put together the other day, basically about selecting free keyword research tools. There's a lot of them out there, but I do have a few that I recommend on a regular basis. Now, for me, I save most of my free keyword research tools on a quick little pull down on my bookmarks toolbar. If you're not familiar with how to set it up like this, I do have another video within the playlist that you can check out. So under my how-tos, and this should really help you out when it comes to shortcutting these methods and getting them up on your screen right away so you can use them real quick. I'm going to start with the first on the list, which is the Ubersuggest tool. Now, a lot of the folks out at Wealthy Affiliate like to point people in this direction because it's a really quick and easy way to do some simple alphabet soup search method. We're just going to start with, I'm going to use the word keyword in all of these examples so that you can get an idea of where this goes. In the case of Ubersuggest, there is a lot of advertising on the site, so I always recommend that people be careful where they're picking on here. I don't usually prefer that my keyword search tools have a lot of advertising on them because it can be distracting. You're kind of busy when you're doing keyword research and you want to remain focused, so it's one of those things that I prefer to stray from and look for those tools that have the lesser of the two evils, you might say, and that is a little less advertising, a little more purpose and use to keep things on the up and up. So here at Ubersuggest, you can select the language you want to work in and where you want to do your browsing for your keyword search, whether it's the web itself, the images, the news feeds, shopping, video feeds, etc. So I'm just going to go with a simple web search here. Basically, it uses Google's instant search bar feature, similar to what you would do if you were to type a word up here in the search bar and you see all those other keywords that come down below that. It'll give you initially some of the alternatives like keyword planner, keyword research, keyword generator, the ones that are obvious and drop down right away, and then they go into the alphabet soup method, which you can either scroll down and check out where they take the word keyword, add the letter A, and you can learn all about this in my other post about free Google searches and the alphabet soup method. You can go to the letters themselves and jump right down to them so that you can see. And obviously we've generated hundreds of keywords here just with a simple keyword search on Ubersuggest. My second tool of choice would probably have to be keywordtool.io. Now, this is not to be confused with another similar tool that I'm going to show you in a little bit, and it's actually going to come up after two of the more obvious or more used tools that people recommend all the time, and I'll show you why. Keywordtool.io is basically 750 free Google keyword suggestions. They use their platform similar to what we just saw on Ubersuggest. Only you can decide whether you want to go through the YouTube keyword tool, the Bing keyword tool, or the App Store keyword tool. So basically you have several different methods you can do here. Now, these are linked into other keyword tools, so you have to remember that. You're not simply using one or the other. If you use Google, you're using the instant search method. If you use YouTube, you're using YouTube's own search engine, which is pretty much tied right into Google anyway. And then if you use Bing, obviously you see now you only get 600 keywords in the Bing keyword search tool. And then there's also the App Store, which has its own search engine. So I'm just going to use the Google engine here. Type in the word keyword like we did in the last one. Now, one thing cool about this particular keyword tool is you can select which Google platform you're working from. So if you're overseas and you want to simply use the ones for the country that you're located in, you can go ahead and do that and pick the Google, because they are different. I mean, these search programs, the algorithms aren't necessarily that different, but the items that they locate and the areas of interest that are present in each different country is going to obviously generate different keywords. And whether or not you want to do this in English or any other native language that you might be working in. So they do have a Keyword Tool Pro also, and there are some programming accesses through their API. The thing that you'll find is Keyword Tool Pro is kind of expensive when you consider the alternatives. But this does give you a lot of advice and information with regards to doing some free keyword researches. So I'm just going to blast real quick here and see what I get.
We used the search term keyword and it came back with all of these suggestions, 668 to be exact. Now, what I like about this is you can copy all these keywords right to into your clipboard and paste them into a text file so that you can save those for later, or pump them into your preferred keyword tool, which obviously this doesn't give you all of the analysis and the metrics that you're going to need for some serious keyword research. That's done more or less with the paid tools, but at least here you've generated 626 unique keywords. One thing I noticed about Keyword Tool IO is that they tend to add, in the alphabet soup method, the letter A to the front and back of the keyword search term, which is kind of unique. I think it's a little bit of overkill, but it does generate more keywords. So it's not to say that this method can't be used, and it's probably a good way to go. I'm not going to knock it, but it seems to create a lot of bogus keywords that really don't mean anything and people probably aren't really searching for. So that's Keyword Tool IO. Now we're going to jump over to one that's probably recommended by most people out there, which used to be a really cool free keyword tool. When Google's keyword tool first came out, people used it all the time. It was like that go-to place where you could get some metrics, you could see the search results, you could literally dig into Google's brain and pick out what keywords were being used by the general public. Now Google kind of realized they had a gold mine in their hands, so they started to pull back a little bit on the information that they were providing, and sometimes the information was really even kind of buggy. It didn't represent the actual metrics that were available in other keyword tools. So the nuances, I guess you might say, the field changed and a lot of people started to say, well, wait a minute, what's happening with keyword tool? And then Google pulled it out of the mainstream and started calling it Keyword Planner, and it was now completely and literally plugged into AdWords, where you had to have an AdWords account in order to use it, etc., etc. So, for instance, in this one, I'm logged into my AdWords account so I could get in here and show you the keyword tool itself. I don't usually recommend this tool, mostly because of the fact that it's very clunky. There's a lot of stuff here that if you don't know much about keywords, you can kind of get lost in here, especially for newbies and new people on the block. I'm just going to give you an example. Like if I throw in a word keyword, and they're wanting landing pages and product categories and filters and locations and languages and a lot of information you really don't want to get involved with when you're just doing some simple keyword research. And they get into exact matches, broad matches, a lot of other data that in most cases we really don't need to be dealing with. So I'm going to have it get some ideas and we'll see how long this takes. Now there are a lot of keyword tools out there. Oh, it's not going to show me the volume charts because I probably didn't give it enough information. I'm going to modify my search, but you can see why I get a little ticked off in this aspect, because there's just way too much you have to do. Subcategories, I mean, come on. This is just way too much for what I want to be dealing with when I just want to jump into a tool and get some ideas for some keywords. Now in this case I'm finally going to get something. So here's some metrics. Top keywords gives me the average monthly searches, whether the competition is low, medium, or high, and a suggested bid on AdWords. And that's primarily why this tool exists now, is because it gives you an interface to AdWords so that you can decide what it is you're going to bid on when you're buying advertising through CPC. So not my preferred method. The keyword research over at Bing is very similar to the same thing. You're basically dealing with the same type of interface where you're looking at searches through the paid engine so that you can buy keywords and advertise with those keywords, and that's primarily what these tools are used for. It's for advertisers who have the money to spend on advertising. You'll see here, at least here, they show how often they appeared in searches, whether it was trending up or down. And honestly, the information in Bing is probably better and quicker to access than it is on Google, where here we have the mainline bids for the average cost per click and the sidebar bids, and also the average bids across both, and a buy now button to just go ahead and buy in on those keywords. Again, not my cup of tea. I'm more into organic free traffic, so when I want a keyword, I want to just go to it and get it. Now in this case, there's another gentleman over in Germany named Robert who came up with keyword.io. Now that's not to be confused with keywordtool.io like we started with over here. This is simply keyword.io, and this is a newer player on the market that just came out recently that I discovered while I was actually writing this article.
I went ahead and signed up for a free account, so you will want to go ahead and get that account opened right away, because what I see Robert doing out here is really pretty cool. I mean, obviously it's paid for by advertising, but he's continuously building up the site to do more and more things as time goes on, and this is kind of his own little baby project, and I think it's cool that somebody's out there doing this for us. When you look at what I just did for a search recently, it did a quick alphabet soup method keyword search and came up with 608 keywords, and I can download these keywords into a format that I can use in other programs. Now I can also click over here and head over to trends to see how the keyword is trending and what countries it's trending in the most. I can also go to the pages tab and see pages that have that keyword within the context of their site and pages, and I can also get some extra relevant terms within the market industry, and even I'm also able to download that into a CSV file so that I have even more ways that I can go and maybe come up with some long tail keywords for later. Not only that, but he's got some scoring that goes on in here as far as suggestions on specific words, text rank frequency, TF, IDF, algorithms, etc. And these are industry standards. And then he has a little donate button because he's spending a lot of time and effort trying to put this together for people. He does want your feedback, and I've made a couple of suggestions to him. For instance, on the trends page, if you were to go to Google Trends, you could actually add in another keyword alongside of this and see a stacked graph so that you could kind of compartmentalize and compare two very similar keywords together and see which one's ranking higher than the other. So I'm hoping he really adds that feature in here, and if he does, it's going to make this a really powerful tool for free. And then last but not least, out of the at least 6 that I chose to be the better free keyword tools out there, this is one I also discovered while I was out doing some of my research, and this is a program, it's a software program that was put together by David Glinden, and it's used to be on Adobe Air, and it was both for easy interface with PC and Mac, but it's now primarily a Windows executable file. His original developer backed out, now he's developing this on his own, and he's created a software tool that really is kind of slick. I'm going to pull it up real quick for you. I have it installed on my machine here. It's obviously software that has some advertising built into it, but for what it's worth, and I haven't really gotten into this enough to know all of his little intricacies, like his keyword research algorithms, but if you just simply type in a keyword and spread it across a few different search engines to make it 100% search, and whether you want a high keyword volume, low, medium, high, I recommend low to medium, because if you start crunching and scraping hundreds of keywords at a time, Google gets a little concerned as to what kind of software is out there. But I would say a low or medium search for keywords can generate really some interesting aspects. So here, just going through Google, one scrape, a lot of different stuff coming up here, and about a quarter of the way through and it's already generated over 200 keywords. So you can see just by going through here, and some of these might not really be relevant to what we're looking for, and that's where some of these keyword tools, when they're free like this, they don't have huge monster algorithms that clean out some of the dirtier content that you really don't get much from. But lo and behold, it's still pulling out keywords that we could probably find some real winners and no golden nuggets in here if we were to just go down through here, like keyword optimization or keyword outline or keyword outline template. These are keywords that people usually don't just come up with off the top of their head. So that, as far as the free keyword tools out there that are available to folks, I think are some of the best that I would usually recommend. And again, I'm not a big fan of Google Keyword Planner or the Bing Keyword Tool, but they are out there and available for those, and they are tied directly to the search engines, so a lot of people do recommend them. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And a couple more that I use on a regular basis. One of them, obviously, that has a free trial is Market Samurai. It's a paid tool, and if you go out looking, I may put a link in here as to where you can get it the cheapest. If you get the free 12-day trial, you can get a huge discount off their retail price after the trial's over, and there's actually some people out there offering some instant PayPal rebates where you can get this tool. I think I paid less than $60 when I got mine, and it's a lifetime membership, and I've got it up and running, and I just love this thing because it does a lot more research into the deep end of things. It used to be laid over on top of Google AdWords, but they've since separated that. It still now it runs in the cloud. The other, which I use on a regular basis, which I probably love the most, is Jaaxy. It was put together by the folks who own Wealthy Affiliate, and there are 3 platforms here. You can obviously get a quick free trial that allows you for 30 keyword searches. It's a great way to check out the system and see what it's all about. I've been an enterprise member for quite some time, and there's also a pro membership that's a little bit on the slower end, doesn't allow you just a couple of things like data sorting, which, I mean, honestly, for a $19 a month pro membership, you can probably get better than most of the other keyword tools out there. If you go looking at things like Word Tracker, Keyword K9, and several others that are like $200 plus a month, it's just outrageous what people are charging for some of these keyword tools. So I really hope this has been of a benefit to those people out there who needed a free keyword research tool to use in their business. There's several of them that I just suggested to everybody, and I think it's going to make a wonderful addition to your own business tools so that you can get out there and start doing the research that you need to do to show up on page 1 on Google. So once again, this is Leland Best over at the Megabit Affiliate. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below in the box, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And check out my other videos on my website over at Leland Best on YouTube, or Best at YouTube, you might say. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.